I'm willing to go to war. Tato, are you willing to go to war? Yes. Boom. Next guy. Jimmy Brown. Paul, whatever you want, I'll do. Frankie the Chico exploded on him. He didn't ask you that, you fucking brown noser. He asked you if you're willing to go to fucking war. Hey guys, here we are in the hood with Anthony Ruggiano and Gene Borrello, and their cousins. They're ganging up on me. We're going to shoot the shit a little bit and have some laughs, and we've been looking forward to this. I have a relationship with both of them for quite a while. Good guys, tough guys, and my kind of people. So let's get started. Introduce yourself a little bit. That's Anthony. I think he doesn't need too much of an introduction.
Thank you. Glad to be back in Sammy's studio with my good friend Sammy and my cousin Gene.
Hi, I'm Gene Borrello. I'm here with Sammy Gravano, my cousin Anthony, and I'm excited to be on the show with you, man.
And he's going to behave.
I'm gonna be nice
Because he's a firecracker, tough guy. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's starting to relax a little bit.
Yes.
He doesn't want to give anybody else any more content.
Right, they try to badmouth him, but he's a good man. He's got a book out, and I read it. Well, a couple guys said I sponsored it, and I didn't read it. I did read it. It's a great book. He's doing well with it. And Anthony is going on shows now. I'm starting to get a little jealous. Netflix is calling him, and all kinds of people are calling him up to be on shows. Yeah. And I'm doing a few things, and maybe in the future we could do a lot more things. We're friends, and we're going to stay that way.
Yes. I agree.
Show me a book.
Oh, yeah. So this is my book. It's a bestseller. Sold over 15,000 copies. They told me that books don't sell no more. It sold. And now they're trying to make it possibly into a TV show. I'm also going to be in a featured film, a rail film, Pony. And like I said, I have a lot of things going on, so I'm doing well.
And Vinny's with the Angels now.
Yeah, Vinny Sarah passed away.
Vinny Sarah, he passed
away.
Yes.
Recently.
Yeah, he was a fun guy to work with.
That's good. And that's what the John... I think it was our show.
Of course.
Yeah, of course I knew him. But that's what we got to do is, this is a big platform, this genre, mob things, people, and that's what we should be doing. We're talking about our lives, friendships, things that happened growing up. Now, we come from different eras. Right. Gene said that we used to use bow and arrows. Then in Blu-ray, they started using guns. And
we wore suits and ties. And
they chase people in tap shoes. I still got to figure that out. I just chase people with those shoes on. I want to know those cockroach kills.
We didn't have to chase them too far.
No, seriously, I had suspenders on.
That was one of my biggest pieces. I never wore suspenders.
Did you wear the pants up to the belly button?
Never. Never. I mean, I wore my collar out, in the disco era with the gold chain. But I never liked the movie. I hated that fucking John Travolta. Remember when he made the movie Club?
Yeah.
That was in your neighborhood.
I was right in our neighborhood. Yeah. He was like a disco Danny. Moving all over the place.
That was a big club, but that was real. That club.
The floor, and they picked that club because the whole floor was lit, so you could light it up.
You should know. You owned the disco.
I did.
Guy.
I wasn't a disco guy, but I had.
Come on,
I had the pose
you were up there doing the little hustle. New York hustle.
I blew the whole joint with a murder.
Used to go there.
I wound up killing.
He just killed the guy outside.
What was he? There goes the neighbor.
Was he Russian? He was from another country, right? The guy,
Czechoslovakia, I believe, and he lost his mind and he lost his life.
Yeah, I remember. You killed him right outside the joint, right?
Right outside the joint. Yeah. It's a whole long story.
Did you get pinched for that?
I didn't get pinched for the murder. I got pinched on the tax evasion because I was getting money. He wanted to buy the whole building. He wanted to buy the disco, and he came up back then. It was a ridiculous price of $1 million. Probably the whole thing probably wasn't worth $500,000, and he was offering $1 million. And I started making a deal with him. So much money under the table. Let's do this. Let's do that. When he got murdered, they went and they got all the information. And I got pinched for tax evasion, and me and 2 or 3, my brother-in-law and another guy or 2. I wound up beating the case, but I lost the joint. I lost the building. I lost it all.
Yeah. See, now, you would have been, with how you behaved, you would have won up a joint. You would have started trouble. You would have had a beef. You would have had a problem.
If I was in that era, I don't think I would have made it too long. I'll be honest with you. 70s and 80s, I don't think I would have made it too long.
It was a tough era. I mean, not just the Gambino family, but all the families. I mean, and it was the thing, it was just Cosa Nostra. That was the thing. You had to kill somebody, basically, to get in. And,
It weakened down with my era. You know what I mean?
And kids, and wow.
Weakened down. Guys, like, the things I was doing, I should have 80 bullets in my head. You know what I mean? So, like, I was getting away with a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have got away with under, back in the day, should I say. You know what I mean? Sticking up wise guys, doing wild shit like that. That usually don't fly. My era, there was nobody was pushing the button on those murders no more,
Right.
So. Plus, you would have been, everything was controlled by the mob back then. Like, he had Plaza Suite. Everybody, all the clubs were owned by mob guys or with somebody.
Right.
I mean, I had a beef in this club called the Rapport. The guy that owned the joint was with Paul Castellano. My father, me and my brother had a beef in there. My brother Albert, we went to work on somebody. The next day, my father come down screaming, where the fuck were you last night? You started trouble in the Red Parrot. Paul just sent for me. Because what I'm trying to say is, a guy like you behaving like that, you had nowhere to go. You were boxed in everywhere you went. The mob had control of all these joints.
I think I might have not been killed because I was.
Because you were my.
I think you would have got me a lot of passes.
The same thing with my kid brother. My kid brother would have got killed if he was a Fat Andy's son. Right. I mean, he was. Well,
if you were related, you had a better chance. You had a better chance.
This is the line. I was really crossing it. You know what I mean? So I was playing with fire. A few times I actually thought I was going to get killed. They sat for me in a funeral parlor basement. I thought it was over for me. I stuck up a social club, a guy coming out of it, pistol whipped him and everything. I thought I was really going.
Yeah, back then
I would have walked the plank, right?
Yeah, you were going.
No matter who you related to.
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, they got to get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a whole different era. But it's good to hear that you recognize the life and recognize things that are right and wrong in the life. And it got watered down. It was a different time. Thank God it did get watered down to a degree. I think they made some good moves. They don't kill no more. Some of those moves I think are good moves. It's bad in a certain way, but it's good in another way. They took less heat.
I want to ask you something on that, to be honest with you. You see, it took away murder, but what's the fear? Now, here's the thing. You're a loan shark. You're a bookie. Why are you getting paid? If there's no violence, if there's nothing to be scared of, I always broke this down to my people because they were trying to, with the violence, I felt like people were so scared of me and my crew is because we were doing brutal shit to people. Now, if we're not doing that, how are you getting paid? Oh, I'm going to kill you. If you're selling empty threats, who's going to pay you? They tell you go fuck yourself. So it's actually good and bad. You see, you take away the murder because now when you get pinched, you only get 5-10 years. So nobody's ratting. Now, if you got the violence, you're always going to get paid your money. Everybody's scared of you. Without that, how do you get paid? It's like good and bad. You understand what I mean?
Well, you could be violent with your hands.
Yeah.
You could still be on the back. A guy tells you he's not going to pay you. I mean, listen, I know you physically, you're a beast. You can break his fucking face.
Right.
Open. You don't have to kill him.
But you're still alive. So you got away with $250,000, but you're still alive.
No, you didn't get away with $250,000.
What I'm saying is, guys didn't get to take a beating. That's it. I ain't got to pay no more.
No, you're gonna get a beating. You're gonna pay too. So, but I get your point.
Right.
Fear is part of the life. My thinking about fear is that 99% of the guys in the mob, not everybody, but 99% or 98%, whatever number you want to take, have done murders and they can kill. So how do you control them if you don't have, you have rules. If you do certain things, you die. Now, if you don't have those rules, how do you control a guy who's dangerous? And he has no fear that he's going to die for his actions.
Right.
So it's really, really hard to take away that label. I think I was fairly tough. I was involved in a lot of murders. But there was always the thing, a couple of times, Paul, with the Plaza Suite, said I did it off the record because I didn't ask permission fast enough. I really wasn't off the record, but there was that fear. If I don't ask him first, even though I'm right, I could get killed for it because I didn't ask permission.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that fear, I don't know how you can control everybody. After a while, you have chaos. You know.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So in that respect, I think there has to be rules, even in the military. I mean, they don't kill you that easy, but if you do something treasonous, they'll kill you.
Of course.
They'll try you for treason, and they'll kill you.
Sammy, it's so watered down. You have wise guys saying, I'm not reporting. Come on.
Yeah,
If the wise guy told the skipper or their guys, I'm not reporting, I don't care, I'm not doing this no more. That's what they're literally saying nowadays. No one's doing nothing about it. You know what happens if you do that.
yeah.
What was John doing if he didn't show up to a meeting after he became boss? Wasn't he getting you killed?
He's on tape with Louis DeBono.
Yeah, right.
He didn't show up,
He says the only reason I'm killing him is because he didn't show up.
Yeah, exactly. You see, and that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, they literally do what they want. It's a free-for-all. You straighten guys out, they've never been in a fist fight. You know what I mean? So it's much different, you know?
Maybe it's making me think maybe I should go back to the neighborhood.
Yeah, listen, in 1998, the last time I saw my father alive, I got sentenced to Florida. They sent me back to New York State. I was in Elmira State Penitentiary. He come to visit me with my brother and this guy, Charlie, and he says to me, I'm opening up a fruit and vegetable market, and when you get out, it's for you. I said, what the fuck do I know about fruits and vegetables? I said, what are you talking about? He says, it's all over for us. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, listen. He says, the two things that we had going for us are gone. He goes, I said, what? What are you talking about? He goes, everybody feared us and nobody cooperated. He said, nobody fears us no more and people are cooperating. He goes, so it's over. He said, it's over for us. This life is done. He told me that was in 1998 in Elmira in the visiting. That was the last time I saw him alive.
See, I work for two different guys. I work for an old-timer of your generation, and I work for a guy that was about 50-something years old. And I noticed every time I worked for guys in your generation, it was always more brutal. Like when I worked with Vinny and Sarah, I went for advice, which was the worst thing I ever did. Go, oh, just kill him. That's their advice. Okay, well, I want to... It's an argument. I'm not just going to kill him, all right? So let me get advice from somebody else. So the old-timers, your generation, everything they handled was with murder. I noticed that, or just get rid of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it called for that, I mean, they didn't hesitate to say go.
Right.
They gave you the green light. If it was you broke certain rules or did certain things, you got the okay pretty easy. It's true. Today it's different, and I think that's why it completely fell apart. There's a lot of reasons, but that's one of them that it fell apart.
Yeah, it's not even on the table anymore.
No.
The violence isn't even on the table anymore.
There's nothing.
I did time
in Detroit. When I was living in Detroit, I used to have to meet the feds once a month to get my money. Because I was still testifying, so I got a stipend. I got money every month. I go meet them in Detroit. I'm in the car with them, and they're laughing, and they go, listen, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I said, what? We just found out that, because there's a family in Detroit, right? That they just passed a rule in Detroit that even for bookmakers, if people owe you money, just forget it. They don't pay, just forget about it. No violence whatsoever.
Now, see, here's the thing. I'll give you my era.
Detroit.
We were beating the shit out of people. Excuse my language. We weren't having that. So we were the last hurrah, I want to say, from my era. We were still extremely bad. We were doing a lot of bad stuff, but that is the reason why there was such a big bullseye on my back. See, back in your era, there was so many guys like that. Think about now, you narrow it down to Howard Beach, and it's only our crew like that. You have every agent watching us.
Right.
You have a shooting in the park. You have a shooting. They know it's me. A bad thing happens. They know it's me. Gene Bro. Ronnie's ordering people to get shot from prison. You understand? So it was getting so bad. We were the only crew still doing this. And the FBI says, we got to get you off the street. There's no more that's going on. This ain't the 80s. You know what I mean? So that's why it put such a bullseye on my back, being like that.
And it's true. And I had that same bullseye. So did John Gotti. So did a lot of guys, his father.
So tell us about the funeral, Paula.
So the funeral parlor situation was crazy because originally I was supposed to...
You got to hear this.
Gambino, right. It was just wild. And what happened was I was a score guy. Me and my partner, Bobby G, he was Vinny Sarah's nephew, Ronnie G. Alonso's nephew. That was my partner. Me and him were coming up. We were real bad together. We were doing sticking up drug dealers, people, everything. And we get put onto a score with a card game. We're not sure whose game it is. We just know it's a game. We don't know who's backing it. We just know it's some half-ass wise guy. So like, all right. So the guy that gives the score is going to be inside the game. And he goes, the first place winner is going to walk out with 50,000. We know that for a fact. Just so happens the guy that walked out with it ended up having a $100,000 Rolex on, so we got a bonus. I said, all right. He comes outside. I hop on him. He won't give me the bag. First, he had a fanny pack on with the money. I said, give it to me. He won't get it. I smacked my head with the gun. Boom. He gives it to me. I said, give me the watch now. You won't give me the watch. Boom. I hit him again. Guy's crying, by the way. We can get into that. So this is a guy I didn't know was on record with people. So anyway, I get the stuff. Me and Bobby are celebrating. I want to say it was 3 in the morning. I want to say 8 in the morning. I hear ding, 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 ding at my door. I look out the window. I see Ronnie G. Alonso and Mike Padavona standing outside. I just went like this to myself. Fuck. I'm fucked. Something's wrong. Why are they here at 8 in the morning? I go downstairs. I just see Ronnie's face. He's looking at me. He goes, "Can you do anything last night?" I says, "No. Why? What are you telling me?" He goes, "Do me a favor. Turn around. Go the fuck upstairs. Give me the fucking money and the watch." I says, "What are you talking about, Ronnie?" He goes, "Go the fuck upstairs. Give me the chain and the watch." Because they got you on camera. They had the ball camera. They got me. They're right. I says, "All right." I go upstairs. I give him the stuff. He's going ballistic on me. He goes, "I got to see if I can save you for this. You fucking stuck up a Gambino card game. You pissed up the guy. He's on record with Ruggiano, Al Trucchio, Ronnie Williams' son, the whole thing." I said, "Oh, no." He goes, "You better stay here. I'm going to call you and let you know what's going to happen." Bobby comes to my house. Me and Bobby are sweating bullets now. I'm 20. I know the game, but I know this is a bad thing I did. Bad situation. So I'm sweating bullets, and all of a sudden, we get the phone call. Ronnie goes, "You got to meet him here." And they says, "The funeral parlor basement." I told Bobby, "I'm out of here." I says, "Bro, I'm not going." I says, "They're killing us." I says, "We're all scared to death now." I says, "I'm not going down there." Long story short, we go to the funeral parlor basement. We go down there, and it's all the Gambino guys. It's Ruggiano, I believe one of the Corrales were even there, bunch of them. And they looked at me, goes, "What the fuck, you crazy, going off on me?" Ronnie G already set it up where they knew. Ronnie ended up hitting me. Me and Bobby got a little beating from Ronnie later on, but they made it look like we were getting killed, basically. Went down there, and basically at the time, they says, if it wasn't for your uncle, you'd be dead.
Fat end.
Yes, if it wasn't for your uncle, you'd be dead. You pistol whipped, you robbed our place, pistol whipped the guy, beat him, and disrespected our turf. Because in actuality, it could have looked like they sent you to do it. The Bananas, like blatantly disrespecting their people. So it ended up being Quack Quack's son's place, Junior Ruggiero, who is a tough guy. I know him well. And he was mad. They were all mad at me. And the guy that gave us the score ran us out. Because they pressed him. They thought he had something to do with me, Richie Boy G. Alonso. They thought he talked in 2 seconds. It was Regina Bobby. He ran us out in 2 seconds. And then we got the learn to stick. So I ended up getting hit up a little. But then after that, Ronnie basically told me, "You cannot do things like this. This is a death sentence. You got very lucky." He goes, "I understand you think you could be killed for this. You basically pissed on their territory. You pissed up the guy. Don't do this ever again." 6 months later, we did it again. We did it
It's
again.
funny because now I'm in jail when all this was going on. I'm in jail. So when I went to jail in '96, he was only 12 years old.
Yeah.
So now I'm in jail, and now he's getting older and he's getting crazy. And I'm hearing stories on my visits. Your cousin Gene's running all over the neighborhood. He's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that. So when I came out, but if we were home, if me and my old man was home, he would have never winded up with Vinny Asara. He would have been with us.
Right.
But we were gone. My father died in '99. I was in prison. So he winded up with Vinny Asara, was always good friends with his they grew up together. My mother
Same block.
My mother and Vinny Asara actually were in grammar school together.
Yeah.
So there was a connection there to begin with, and that's how he winded up with Vinny. And I'm in jail, and I'm hearing all these fucking stories about him running all over there. But like you were with 2 families.
It happens.
I was with the Colombo family.
Yeah.
Originally, I got into a beef with, my boss was Shorty, who was with Carmine Persico, and I had a beef with him, and I went to kill him.
And he winded up getting killed anyway after that, didn't he? Sure.
Gerry Pappa and them killed him. Yeah.
Is that John Papa's son?
Yeah.
I mean, John Papa was his son, right?
Yes, it was Gerry Pappa's son.
He killed my friend's father. He killed Scopo. He killed Joey Scopo with the machine gun.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
He killed a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah.
I know a cop, Tommy Day, and when they went to arrest him, I think he was in a church or something like that. There was some sort of wedding, and they picked him up, and they went through his wallet and everything, and they found a hit list in his wallet. So Tommy Day called me up. He says, "Bro, me and you, we should be real tight." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because we were on the same list." He had my name on that list, and he had Tommy Day's a cop on the list as well. And I hear he's a badass in prison too, the kid.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nut.
Yeah, I heard he's a little bit of a nut.
Wild
But
guy.
yeah, it's a shame. Gerry Pappa was completely out of his fucking mind. Another guy.
His son is just like that.
Yeah.
His son's
Son just like
Yeah.
him.
Didn't one of them get killed in jail?
No.
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 No,
No.
Gerry Pappa got killed in the street.
In the
Yeah.
street, okay.
His son's still running around. His son got 50 years.
Yeah,
His son,
right.
he killed Joey Scopo with a machine gun outside of his house.
Yeah,
Killed about 4 other people too.
yeah.
His son
Killed a
was
lot
going
of
crazy,
people.
yeah.
And he had a list. Not only me and Tommy did, it was a whole list of guys he was going to kill.
Yeah. I like Joey Scopo. How'd you get
He was a
along
good
with
guy.
Joey?
No, Joey
I
was
like
a-
Joey Scopo. I
Big
knew him
guy.
from when we were kids.
Me too.
He
Not
and
as
his
kids.
father
but-
was. Did you know his father?
Yeah,
Yeah, his father was a good guy too.
yeah.
Ran that union.
Ralphie.
Yeah, Ralphie.
He was on the commission case, wasn't he?
He was on the commission case, the
Yeah.
concrete club and
Yeah,
stuff.
he had it locked up to union. Forget
Yeah.
it.
Well, they they were all stuck together in the commission case with the concrete club. Every family had union guys, and they would
How
they
come you
worked
weren't
together.
on that case? You.
You know, that's a good story, but I'll tell you the story. Paul sent me to a meeting about the concrete club, and I went down and I met. And I was young. I was made. I was just about an acting captain. So I go into the meeting, and there's all bosses. Tony Ducks, Fat Tony.
Yeah.
I think it was Jerry Lang with the Colombo people and stuff. And so I was nervous. You know, here I am, a young guy. I'm a pup.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm looking in, and I'm sitting with
Yeah,
all
all the
bosses.
seasoned bosses.
But Fat Tony was great. He says, Sammy, you're a good-looking kid. What are you doing here with us old farts? He says, go out in the street and go get laid.
Yeah.
And he's laughing, and I'm laughing. And then Tony Duck said, Sammy, I see you're a little nervous, but Paul sent you to this meeting. So when we're looking at you now, you're not an acting captain no more. You're a boss to us. We're looking at him, and you're his
Yeah,
representative. So I'm going to look at you that way. I felt good. I talked. I didn't do too much contradicting with stuff, but I listened mostly. Did a little talking here and there. And then I went back to Paul, and I said, it was great, the meeting. Tony told him what he said, the other ducks. And he says, and what do you think? So I said, you want to hear the truth? He says, of course I want to hear the truth. What do you think? I said, we're all going to go to prison because we're locking up the whole city.
Yeah.
And we're using like everybody's different connections with unions. It's too big. It's too powerful. And we're going to get locked up for sure.
Yeah.
He said, great. I feel the same way. So I said, why don't we just back out?
Yeah.
He said, because this is Cosa Nostra. We got a place at the table. I can't leave our place empty. He said, but I'm going to take you off. So I said, I'm not worried about going to prison. That's not what I was saying. I said, I'll stay. He said, no, it's not that. He said, the last guy I sent to the meetings, you know what he told me? No. What did he say? He said, this is great. We're going to make a ton of money.
Who was that?
I don't know who it was, but he said, you came back, you're smart. The other guy's dumb. All he's looking at is dollars. Not that this is going to be so obvious that we're all going to get pinched. So I'm going to take you off because I need you for a lot of other things. And I'm going to put somebody there. I think his name was Moscow. He had cancer. I put him on. Eventually he got pinched with the case, died of the cancer. So he took me off because he wanted me for other reasons and other things and stuff like that. And so that's how I got pulled out of that whole thing. If I would have stayed when the concrete club case came, I would have been pinched with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually saved me by pulling me off.
Yeah.
I think only one guy came home from that commission case. It was Bruno Nicata.
Yeah.
He was the only guy that came home on commission
Yeah,
case.
he's the only
I
one
want
in
to
the
ask you
Italian
something
jail.
personally because I
Chrissy
always
Tick's
wanted
right.
to notice. How'd you get close with Paul Castellano? Because the age difference, you know what I mean? Like, how'd you get hooked up with Paul? How'd you end up like him liking you so much?
Well, I was in the Gambino family. When I got transferred from the Colombo family, they put me. They had meetings up on top. Carlo Gambino was alive, and they sat down with the Colombo people. And what I did going to the guy's house was legitimate. I should have killed him, but not going to his house and kill him in front of his family or something like that.
I got
That
so
so they
similar. Yeah, okay.
they switched me over, and I was with Tato. Tato, the first or second day, he took me to Carlo Gambino at an apartment on Ocean Parkway. and I met Carlo Gambino, and he says, "Who is this? This kid Sammy the Bull?" And Tito said, "Yeah." And he says, "I hear a lot of good things about you. I had already did work with the Columbos. I was in their war. I hear a lot of good things." He asked me if I wanted coffee, made coffee for me. 5, 6 guys. I thought he was going to tell somebody, give him a cup of coffee, but he did it himself.
Yeah.
Like
And
the
I-
Godfather.
It was beautiful, but it was a beautiful moment for me. He was a little meek old guy, you know, really good guy in every way, and made me feel so comfortable. So I left, and I was with Tato all the time, and I don't know how I'm going, but where was I going with this thing? What was the question?
No, but
How'd you get
close with Paul? That's what I'm saying. He's the
I
boss
went
of
to
the family. You don't
yeah,
get to meet them, really.
I was married a while. I was in the construction business, and I went with Tato over Paul's house, and he was complaining he had a mansion, that he couldn't get hot water in the shower. And he says, you know, and he's raving about it. So I had a plumbing company, and I had a concrete, I had a few companies. So I had the plumbing company. I says, if you don't mind, Paul, I think maybe I can go back to my office and I could maybe solve this problem for you. He says, all right, go ahead. So I went back. I had an engineer working there, and they said they came to the house. They looked at it. The boiler room was down in the basement all the way on the other side. So when the hot water's coming out on these pipes and traveling, by the time it got through all these cold pipes, the best he could get is lukewarm water.
Yeah.
So I asked the engineer, how could we fix that? He said, the pipes running through the house, they put this coil, electrical coil, keeps the pipes hot. He's not going to get real hot water, but a lot better than lukewarm. It's going to get hotter. And I did all of that. And he loved it. He loved construction, and that was one of his things that he really liked. He ran a lot of construction things, and he was so blown away that I solved the problem for him that he started bringing me in closer to talk about construction and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's how I got closer to him. Then I used to, you know, dealt with unions. I was doing good with unions. And sometimes I would bully them. Sometimes I would threaten them. Sometimes, you know, but I dealt with them easily. And he liked that.
That's good.
And I went to him one day and I says, you know, Fat Tony and them have this guy in the Bronx. They control the carpenters union and stuff like that. And I had a drywall company. I couldn't get jobs in their area because the unions wouldn't even let me in. So he said, that's not a problem. He told Tato, he said, go get Chin's brother, Mario. Mm-hmm. That guy controls it is with him. And talk to him. And the next day we went down and see Chin. He was in a club talking with a bunch of guys. His brother Mario was on the side. He was a captain. Mm-hmm. And Tato explained, and I explained what the problem was. Vinny the Napoli was controlling everything. Yeah. So he said, go to the Bronx, reach out for Vinny the Napoli. He'll know who you are by the time you reach out for him. Right. I'm going to tell him, and I'll straighten out your problem. I went to go see this guy, Vinny the Napoli. I met him, and he said, Sammy, anytime you're going to bid over here for a job or something, let me know. You won't have no problems, no more. And that happened. So now I was getting bigger and bigger in construction with the unions, my connections and stuff like that, which came from Paul and everybody, Mario. So that's how I got real close with him. You know, I could tell you a funny story. He went on the lam, and I didn't know what it was for or anything. And one day his son comes to me and sends for me, and I go see him, and he says, my father wants to talk to you. I got a phone in the drugstore. It's a good phone. I'll put you on the phone with him. So the next day I go there, he puts me on the phone, and Paul's on the phone. How you doing, Paul? You okay? Yeah, Sammy. I need you to straighten out a few things for me because I'm away. Right. He says, and I need you to come down and talk with me. I said, whatever you want me to do. He says, pack a bag. You'll be here for a day. Pack a bag. My son will give you an airline ticket. Tommy Bellotti will pick you up when you land, and then you'll come and hang out with me and talk with me, and I'll explain. All right. And I do all of that. Right. Boom, I go, the plane went to Florida. I land in Florida, Tommy Bellotti picks me up, takes me to a big building, about the 14th floor. And I go in and he's telling me about different union things and different things I already did while he was on the land. Good, great. So I had that relationship with him.
Right.
He liked what I was doing.
Absolutely.
And well, let me tell you the rest of that story. Because we had 2 adjoining rooms. He had one room with a door, and then me and Tommy were in the other room with 2 beds. And he's going to go to bed. He opens the door and goes in.
Right.
And I'm young and jerky, and I told Tommy, let's go out and have a couple of drinks. He said, we can't do that. Why? What if something happens and we're not here? We got to protect him. Oh, yeah, you're right. So I go to the phone book and I'm looking. He says, what are you looking for? An escort. He says, he called that one. He gives me the name of an escort service, and they know who we are. So I call him up. I get on the phone with the guy, and I says, listen, my name is Sammy. Sammy the book? I said, yeah. He said, all right, what do you want? What do I want? I says, I want somebody about 23, long blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful. I says, and I yelled to Tommy, what do you want? Give me a brunette. It's just like ordering pizza. Like, give me a brunette for him. So I hang up. He's going to send them. So Tommy tells me, he says, Sammy, when they come, go in the bathroom. You want me to go in the bathroom with her? Yeah. And what am I going to do? Fuck her in the bathtub? I'm not doing that, bro. What are you going to do? I'm going to get in the bed. I'm going to cover us up with the blanket, and I'm going to do what I got to do. What do you mean, what am I going to do? He says, no, go in the bed. No, you go in the bathroom, bro. He's a captain. How are you going in the bathroom? You go in the bathroom. I mean, or do whatever you want. So we do all of that. She was great. She gave me head. She was great. And jerk off thinks, you know what? There's a man, he's my uncle, grandfather, whatever. He's in the other room. Oh, no. I want you to do what you did to me just now. Don't ask him for money. Don't do anything fucked up. You see what floor we're on, the 14th floor? If you do something fucked up, you're going over the balcony, you're going down that way. No, I'll do everything. So she's going to go in. She's nude. She knocks on the door. He opens it up. I see a hand come out, grab her by the wrist and pull her in a little bit. And I hear Tommy in the background, you're fucking crazy, man. So she goes in. Why am I crazy? Oh. And she's in there about 20 minutes. She opens the door. She comes out and looks like she's sick. So I says, oh, my God. What happened? What did you do? No, I did the same thing I did to you, but I don't think he likes me. What do you mean he don't like you? He never got on the hard on. I said, really? And he's laughing, Tommy. So I said, you sure nothing went wrong? His girl left already.
Yeah.
So I took care of her, a little extra for what she did, and left. And he says, I'm telling you, you're crazy. Why am I crazy, bro? He's a diabetic, and he can't get on the hard on.
Oh, man.
You tell me now? Why didn't you tell me before? The fuck? Now I'm panicking. I'm sweating. I'm saying, I'm going to get killed over a blowjob. I mean, so I'm panicking. The next day he gets up, and we get up. I'm like a puppy. Good morning, boss. I don't know what to say. He never said a fucking word about it. Like nothing happened. Yeah. And we were eating breakfast, and I'm thinking, I'm waiting for him to say something. He don't say something. I was dying to say, Paul, do you think God said that to you? You don't want to talk about it? I mean, so.
Let me ask you a question. Getting back to the shower, was the shower store big enough for him and the maid?
I don't know.
Because he got himself fixed for the maid.
He got himself fixed, yeah. Later on,
wasn't big
that's
enough.
A whole nother story.
So wait, so when you fixed the pipes and you got the hot water to go into the shower, did you make the shower store bigger for him and the maid?
No. He was banging the maid.
Yeah. And he was, remember when they told him his house was bugged, and then he knew that it was going to come out about the maid? His face, his expression in the car.
He must have dropped dead.
Yeah.
He must have dropped dead, bro. I mean, It's this guy. I'm really I'd rather not discuss that. But I mean,
Yeah, I know.
she was laying on the table
Yeah.
where he eats
I wonder
breakfast.
whatever happened to her. Whatever happened to the
She
maid?
probably went. She was
After
Colombia.
he got clipped.
She
I know.
she went back to Colombia.
Yeah.
You know,
So Paul
And
had plans
that's
for you
the
anyway.
mom.
Paul had plans for you anyway in the future. If he's called, listen, I know the game. If a boss is treating you like that already at a soldier, that means he's like, that's rare in the 80s
It is
for
rare.
a guy to treat you like
that is
that.
right.
you
There's
know?
so many incidents that it's rare. When we're in his house, there's must be 14 of us. John Gotti's sitting there, Roy DeMeo, Frankie DeChico, me. There's 14, 15 guys sitting at his table. And the table was huge, if you remember that. I don't know if you ever
I
went
was
there.
never in his house.
It was fucking huge.
Yeah.
14 guys sitting there. So he says one day, he says, you know, the Mafia's got two kinds of people. Gangsters, who are thugs, kill, do everything. And racketeers, who are good at business and stuff like that. It's very, very rare you'll find a gangster who's a racketeer, or one and the same.
Yeah.
You're very rare.
Yes.
He says, we're fortunate. We have some. And he goes, Sammy, he's one. He's a gangster and he's a racketeer. My fucking chest came out fucking 6 inches.
Yeah, of course.
And now when we're walking out, I'm hitting everybody in the back. You're just a fucking thug.
Yeah.
You know,
But that
and-
came back to bite him in the ass, thinking that you were all his buddy.
Yeah.
We know how that winded up.
Yeah. Well, he did a lot
I
of.
mean, that's
He
the
did.
mob.
I actually liked him. I thought
In
he
the
was the best
beginning.
thing in the beginning since sliced
I
bread.
think everybody liked him in the beginning.
I thought he was great. I mean, the way he treated me, like he's saying, I was on cloud 9.
Wasn't he loaning out money 200 when he first became the boss, 100,000 for a point to guys, to friends? Did you ever hear that?
We were getting that
When
from
he became the boss.
He
'Cause
did
I know
in the
people-
beginning,
'cause
but
I think
after a
Nicky
while,
and them took money off him.
yeah. A lot of people. One of my guys owed him a ton of fucking money. It was, you know, it was more than a point. It was like 2 points.
I was getting at one. I was getting all my money at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was giving out big loans just when he first became the boss. I remember that.
Yeah.
'Cause I was at the Raven.
But then he did so many things that were fucked up.
Yeah.
He did something with me and my family, which I really don't want to get into that story right now, but it was horrible. There was a captain in the Connecticut. He had an argument with Chin. Chin put a beef in it, and he told Chin, kill him. Now, you can't do that. You're the father of the family.
Yeah.
You're giving a guy up who's a captain. He's supposed to be fighting for that territory for our family.
Right.
It wasn't nothing physical. It wasn't all that bad.
Right.
You tell him to kill him.
Isn't that the guy that got killed in the phone booth?
I don't know if he was in,
Connecticut?
he got killed. I don't know if he was in the
I
phone booth,
remember
but he
that.
got
I remember
killed.
when that guy
That's
got
weak.
killed in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
that's
you
John
saw.
Smith.
The guy in
We
Connecticut, he
got
was
it.
good friends with Tony Lee and his brother Mikey Gal, that guy in Connecticut that they killed.
I forget his fucking name.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
know,
it
I
a couple
know,
of times over, but that was a horrible move.
Yeah.
That upset everybody. You know, I was in the house with Frankie the Chico's on one side, and I'm on the other side of the table, and he's sitting at the head of the table, almost like we're sitting,
Right.
right? So Paul is here, and he's talking about the maid, that the FBI questioned the maid.
Of course.
So we're listening, and he says, I'm a little worried because the maid is saying, oh, the FBI agent, he was so good looking. So good looking. I don't think nothing of it, but he's worried. And I said, Paul, if you're worried about this, you want me to take care of it? I got my finger up. And the veins in his fucking neck, he loved his fraud.
Oh,
He was, what the fuck did you just say? And I get a kick from Frankie right under the table. I know I fucked up.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't know, Paul. I think I lost my fucking mind. I tell you the truth. I don't know what to say. I said, you know, if it's a problem for you, I could take care of it.
right.
I get another kick. And then he backs off of it a little bit. We go on with the talking. I'm so fucking nervous. The fuck did I do? So we go outside. We knew there was cameras so that we knew where you could be seen and you're not seen. So we get to a spot. We know we can't be seen. Frankie jumps down. He was much taller than me. Grabs me by the chest. Gets on his knees almost. He squashes me. He says, I love you. You're so fucking crazy. I said, why? He said, He loves this fucking boat. He'll kill me and you in 2 seconds for that.
Yeah.
Now, he had a big garage, 5-6 car garage. He said, you see the last Cadillac on the end? Yeah. He bought her that.
Oh, shit.
And she actually answers the wife, and he doesn't get mad. She tells the maid once in a while, could you make me breakfast? Oh, I'm busy. Make it yourself.
Oh.
You know, and that started hurting him too. You can't do that, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, our life has, that's not what we are. We have gumadas, we cheat, we do certain things, but we don't disrespect our fucking wife or
No.
people, our family that way. Can't do it without getting a kickback. So Paul did a lot of fucked up things in a way. And then the whole thing with John and Angelo,
Yeah.
the tapes,
Yeah, of course.
that caused.
Yeah. He gave me $500, Paul, on my wedding in 1977. My father had a table in the Lamia, and he sat there with all the captains, my wedding, and he gave me a card. And the next day when we opened up all the envelopes, I opened up, I happened to grab his, I guess, and I opened it up, and there was 5 $100 bills, and it said, love, Paul Castellano. And I told my father, look, Paul gave me 500, and my father grabbed the card and ripped it up and threw it out. I wish he would have kept it, right? Yeah. But
Why, you didn't
so
like him? He didn't like Paul?
he liked him in the beginning, like Sammy said. I know, your generation came way after that. But the difference, I mean, why? So what was the difference at the end when you didn't like Paul? Now all of a sudden John becomes the boss, and there's standing room only in the Raven. When you took over, everybody was up your asses. The whole city was up your asses.
I really, really believe that the hit was so violent in front of tens of thousands of people, cops on every corner. It scared everybody. It is 100%. I mean, I knew this guy, Tico, main guy in the Genovese family, and I knew him good. So I asked to see him. I said, could you come down and talk to me? I was now a skipper. I was actually maybe acting consigliere already.
Yeah.
So he was reluctant to come down.
Sure.
So when he finally came down, I said, Tico, what's the matter with you, bro? Why wouldn't you come down? Sammy, am I in trouble? With who? Me? He says, yeah. With you guys? No. And even if you were, you're in another family. We ain't going to do nothing. He says, Sammy, you guys are fucking nuts. Look what you just did.
I know. And everybody's scared.
So they were terrified. Everybody was fucking
Yeah,
terrified.
that's why they were all.
We didn't know that reaction was going to happen.
And he was the head of the commission when he was killed him, right?
Yeah. He was the
that's
boss of
ballsy.
bosses.
Yeah, that's
So now when you came up and you heard about all these guys, what were you doing?
yeah. I mean, like,
Your generation came up, with your pants down to your ass. Like, see, when we were kids, when I was in my 20s, I used to go to the Copa. When
Dressed
I
like
was
this
21
whole
years
photo.
old, I used to wear a suit and tie and go to the Copa Cabana. When you were 22, you had your pants down to your ass.
Me and your son used to
Listening
wear
to
sweats. Yeah,
Biggie,
right.
listening to. When I came home, my son was listening to Biggie Smalls, gangster rap. I went to his room one day. I said, "What do you? What are you listening to?" I said, "How do you identify with this music?" He goes, "Well, how did you identify with the Rolling Stones?" "Oh, that's right. You smoked weed and did drugs like them. That's how it's a bastard." I said, "What are you talking about?" That's what you were doing.
yeah, you see, our era was so much different. Us coming up, like, of course, we knew all the stories, everything with you guys, and we hung out with all the sons, though. Like John Carneglias, all these guys, all their kids
Right.
were our friends. So
You
all
got-
your generation.
You got pinched with John's grandson, didn't you?
I got
Gotti's
yeah,
grandson.
he worked for me. John Gotti's grandson was under me. How about this? He couldn't even go with the Gambinos. That name was so disgraced. So I actually had to take him. And my captain was like, I don't want these names. I don't want these. They're all assholes.
What, the Gotti?
The Gottis. They didn't want
You
them.
know his
But-
grandson got pinched with him?
Yeah,
No.
so Dungy's grandson was on my case. He was with me, and
Peter's
he's a
son.
tough kid actually though. He was tough. Peter's son was tough.
Oh, it's Peter's son?
No,
So
no.
John's
son.
John's
Peter's
youngest son. Peter,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
young son, yeah.
he was bad too. He was a fucking nut too. But the son was real tough, and I grabbed him at a young age. And nobody wanted him. No Gambino guy would take him because John Jr. already had the label. Everybody did that TV show. They were all mad about it. But I grabbed him at a young age because he was ballsy. He was a tough kid. He was actually strong with his hands. But anyway, he ended up cooperating on the case when he was young. A lot of people don't know that. He
Peter's
Peter's
son?
Yeah, he did. It was a paintball gun case. Hootie, Anthony Russo, Hootie, he was with Al Trucchio and his stepson, Vitali. They got caught in a car with a paintball gun, and it was in the news article that he cooperated on that case and told on him and got him in trouble. But everybody just swept it under the rug. Nobody really knew about it. You know what I mean?
You
And
know,
he ended up me years later.
it's amazing because I hear them talking about people who ratted and bad mouthing people, bad mouth me, obviously, and I understand that. I get it.
John Jr.
Well,
cooperated.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
That's
ran
100%.
302s.
I got the 302.
When you were gone already, I sat at a table with captains, guys from your era. Vinny Asaro was a very respected man. All the captains, Gerry Pappa, all these guys that were somebody, and they says he's no good. He's a rat. The only reason they didn't kill him was respect for his father. In jail, nobody was talking to him. Okay, on his, he was known as a cooperator. He blatantly did a 302 on a guy named Mikey Y, who shot Curtis Lee.
Nicky Carrazza.
Shot Curtis Leeway in the cab. He got them pretty much in trouble on that, and that guy will tell you himself. So they could say whatever they want. He cooperated. He sat with the feds, did proffers.
John Jr.
Danny Marino, he cooperated. He profit on a lot of guys. Joe Watts were in his proffers. A lot of guys were in his proffers.
I'm in his proffer. I read the 302.
Yes.
I'm in his proffer.
They could say
Angelo
all they want.
Ruggiano's
Tony
in
Lee's in his proffer at
Tony
the end.
Lee.
Yeah.
Tony Lee with the
Right.
political connections.
Yeah.
He said in the proffer that when Tony Lee died, they lost their political connections in Queens.
I just saw a tape with the Angel got him.
Yeah.
She's bad mouthing the shit out of me.
Me too.
I grew up with a son.
I'm a rat.
I grew up
I'm
with a
this,
son.
I'm that.
Listen to me. I
Then
grew
they
up
got
with a son.
and one of the nieces, one of the women cooperated.
Yeah,
Well, me and you
Pete's,
two.
yeah, Linda.
Yeah.
Pete's daughter, Linda. I got some feedback from that. Oh, she's a girl that don't care. Yeah, it does count. My sister, your daughter wouldn't have done it, right? My
No.
sister wouldn't have done it.
Right.
My wife Alice was a gangster. Her uncle was a Murders Incorporated. She wouldn't have done it. So what's because she's a woman, so she was raised in the family
They make
where
excuses for that.
you were learned at a young age.
Here's what I will say. She's a woman. I heard the same shit.
We could give her
We can give her a pass, not
to a
kill her.
point.
Not kill
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
But put her on the side.
Yeah.
You know, my sister never ratted, but she went out when my brother-in-law died. Not Eddie, my oldest sister. And her husband's name was Angelo, legitimate guy.
Yeah.
And when he died, she went out with a cop.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, Sammy, I'm dating a cop. So I said, that's quite all right. You're not a gangster. Go out with who you want.
Yeah.
If you love the guy, be around him. But understand one thing. Don't invite me to parties with him and his
Exactly.
friends and his family.
Right.
I'm not coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're still my sister. I love you.
Yeah.
I'll always help you.
Yeah.
But I can't mix my life with him.
Exactly.
So that's
That's
it.
how it was.
So that you can do with the girl. She ratted. She's
Yeah.
a civilian. Yes, we're not going to kill her. But you can't tout against other people and not put her on the side.
Yeah.
Say, she ratted, so we put her on the side. We never threw her out of the family, but we put her on the side. We didn't bother with her.
Right.
I accept that. But then shut your fucking mouth about other people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I mean, you
keep your
know
mouth shut.
right from wrong. You don't identify people. Listen, the same thing. My father had a guy around him. This guy Albert Mayoni. His son, his daughter married a cop. So he comes around with invitations. My father goes, "Don't give us. We're not going to the fucking wedding. None of us went to the wedding. The daughter married a cop. We didn't go to the wedding.
Right.
I mean,
Tough
That's-
Tony's
that's
son,
what you do.
Tony's son cooperated on a stabbing. He got stabbed. Anthony Federici. He got stabbed in Metropolis by Carmine Gambino. He went on the stand, and his father's a very respected skipper.
I don't know.
They'll sweep everything under the rug.
Yeah.
It's only
I think Linda was crazy because they wanted to kill Frankie Geisha over that.
Years ago, especially now, you're going back to me and even before me. They didn't sweep things under the rug that easy. I mean, really, there's an old guy, a greaseball from Italy, who his son cooperated, did something, and he was a boss of the family, and he got his son and the nephew.
Right.
His nephew. And he had them brought in to a meeting. They were put in chairs and they were tied up. And he said, nobody could kill him than my son and my nephew. But I have to.
Oh, shit.
And he got a gun and he killed his son and his nephew.
Wow.
Now, it's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brutal story, and I don't know how people take that. But here's the way I took it. He's a true boss and true Cosa Nostra. You can't let your son and your nephew off, and then tomorrow
Kill
you
somebody
get
else.
my son or nephew or somebody because he did that and kill him. So you can't have it both ways. It's almost like, now here I go into politics, like Biden's son. He did it, broke every fucking rule in the book.
Yeah.
And he's going to get nothing, a slap on the wrist at best. Same thing with the president. He's done treasonous things, and he's going to get a slap on the wrist. Now, I got 20 years for fucking ecstasy case.
Yeah.
So you don't think that's going to bother me?
Listen, I went to jail for writing a number. I was in jail. Wait. I'm in jail. Listen, I get in 1990 when I go to jail for policy, right, for writing for numbers, right? Now it's the lotto, this government. I'm in jail, and I meet this Puerto Rican guy, right? And we're talking, and he goes, I can't believe you were in jail for numbers. He goes, I got pinched 50 times for numbers. I never did a bid. I said, that's because you're Puerto Rican. And I'm Italian.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Italians get put in jail for this bullshit.
Right.
And everything I went to jail for now is fucking legal.
And you want to hear something crazy?
It's true.
What you said is so funny because I was looking up a thing where there was like 120 politicians got locked up and it's not even in the paper. But you'll put my probation violation third page in the paper. Look, this big. But you'll put me in the paper for leaving state without permission, but you won't put the 120 dirty politicians in the paper, sex trafficking, all this stuff. It's not even seen.
Well, you're Gerry Capici's favorite person.
100 articles on me. And then and Daily Post, anything I do goes in the newspaper, but you won't put these guys in the paper. You'll put Gene Burrow's parole violation in the paper. Oh, my God. But nothing about these guys. It's insane.
Well,
He wrote a few articles
listen.
about you too, Gerry Capici.
Oh, yeah. The Jerry's a friend of mine. You know one thing about...
I
you
fight
know-
with him and argue and talk with him.
You know, he's a good reporter.
Yeah.
Because here's why. He goes against judges, prosecutors, and street guys. When he makes a mistake on somebody, he recants the next week. He recants, he apologizes, he's wrong, or stuff like that.
But he takes
You
information
know, but
from
let me get
anybody.
back to that one thing. I did time with a black guy. He had marijuana or something like that. And I don't know how he got this fucking... He got a life fucking sentence. So I'll go back to Biden and his son. You got a black guy doing fucking a life sentence for marijuana.
Right.
And your son did every motherfucker. He's a cokie. He's just
Every day.
everything
Smoking
on
crack,
the
Speedos.
crack,
Kisses
Speedos, sitting on a naked broad, whipping on like, what the
Kids.
fuck? Kids.
Yeah, little kids. It's some
And
kids.
and you don't go to jail. So, and I did an interview with the ex-warden of the ADX Supermax.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I did.
And he's a great guy because he realizes that you can't do that. You can't cherry pick.
Right.
No, you can't.
This guy's going to do a 20-year bid for bullshit.
Right.
And this guy's done 10 times worse, and he's doing probation.
What about if that was Eric Trump smoking crack and with a hook?
Oh,
You
forget
think he would have got in trouble?
Oh, absolutely.
Trump's son?
Absolutely.
They wouldn't have stopped. They would have made sure he got in trouble.
That's my man. Where is he? He's on my T-shirt. He's running for
I
president.
like that.
And
I
I'm
like
gonna-
this too. That's from the Diane
Diane
show.
Sawyer. Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
that
that's
one. Why'd you get that one? I don't
Ah,
know.
look how handsome he was back in the day.
Well, you paid less money.
Yeah, I paid. Listen, I got.
This is a little more
I'm older
expensive.
than
Better
you.
mugs?
I'm older
Alright,
than
yeah,
you.
I got the little-
What does that one say? What does that
That's
one
because I'm from the
say?
new
No, this
generation. I
is
get
not-
the full.
That's just a regular mug.
Yeah.
All right.
I like this.
Yeah, I just started selling merch too on my podcast. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I started selling Fat Andy T-shirts.
Yeah, they'll go. We used to go with the merchandise
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. It's a good little gig.
Yeah.
You got to do everything. And when you change your life and you go forward, there's a lot of little things you got to do legitimate. You got to
Absolutely.
change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't half change it. I got fucked up. I got out of prison. I got a fucking 5-year sentence with 19 murders and everything else.
Right.
And then you got.
Then
the
I
years.
go to do ecstasy bullshit. I get the money, and they buried me with a 20-year sentence.
They
But-
violated me like 6 times on probation. Do you understand me? I couldn't do nothing without being violated. Literally, because of the...
Well, you gave a lot of people a lot of content too with the violation.
Yeah.
They violated me for anything. They lied. How about this? They were so mad at me. Now, I admitted to Judge Block, he's the greatest judge. If it wasn't for him, I'd be doing 7 years right now. They wanted to fry me. And the FBI agent actually said that I went into a bar and pulled a gun out on somebody. Now, listen to me. If I pulled a gun out on somebody, that would be all over cameras, that'd be in the news. The judge did not buy it. The judge goes, you mean to tell me this guy pulled a gun on somebody and he was never arrested? No one did nothing. Like, it didn't make sense. How did I go and pull out a gun at somebody in the bar and nothing, the cops came, but it's not on camera? They were trying to get me years in prison. They were so mad at me about me coming home and starting these Mafia podcasts because they blame me for it. They blame me for the Mafia podcast. And that's the reason why they were coming at me so hard and kept violating me.
I know some ex-agents and people like that, and they talk to me, and I mentioned your name in your book, and they call me up. You have anything on them? We could put it.
I wouldn't doubt it. They really hated me.
No, I'm only.
Listen,
I'm
they
only
really
kidding.
my prosecutors were great. I dealt with two great prosecutors I got along with really good. And then when they left, they put these new guys in, and they were just trying to like make a name off me, I guess. You know, they were trying to like just keep coming at me.
Well, they do that too. They're doing it with this poor Alex Bowen. They just
How is he
keep.
being charged?
I don't know.
How is he being charged with a prop gun?
again.
How is he charging this guy?
I really don't understand it. They charged him. They dropped the charges. They're recharging him now. I have no idea. I know a little bit about law, criminal law. I don't know. I
They
don't
gave
know.
him the gun. It's a prop gun. Someone put the bullet. It's a bullet that.
No, it's not a prop gun. It's a real gun.
I know there's real guns.
You're supposed to put
Fake
blanks.
bullet,
All right, so how's that his fault?
Because he
Well,
was in charge of everything.
he's a producer and he's in charge of it. It don't make sense. It's an accident. Whatever it is, it was an accident.
Right.
No doubt in my mind, or I think anybody's mind, even if he hated the girl who got killed, he wouldn't kill her in front of 200 people on a set.
Such bullcrap.
So it just don't even make sense.
What state is charging him? What did happen?
I forgot the state.
Somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere.
Yeah,
That's bull.
Santa Fe, New Mexico, some.
That's total bullcrap. I'll be honest with you. There's no way that could stick. I'm sorry. I don't know how that.
Well, I don't see how it could stick either.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's insane.
if he's got any kind of lawyer, unless somebody says something that we're not aware of, that's the only thing I could think
Did you
of.
talk to him about that when you did the interview with him?
I really didn't talk to him about that because it was, it wasn't dropped. He had an ongoing case, and I didn't want to put. I knew if I put something, on a video, maybe they'll use that video against him at the trial.
Right.
So I didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. I didn't want to be the guy who said something stupid and hurt him. So I didn't want to talk about it really with him. I left it up there. If he wanted to talk, he could talk, but I thought it was completely stupid. It's prosecutors that want to make a name for themselves.
That's the problem.
When you
Lie.
have a name,
High
you
profile.
become a target.
Absolutely.
Because
I
a
know all
prosecutor says, it's just like my ecstasy case. My ecstasy case was bullshit. I think it's going to come out in July. There was a whole thing done on it. The case, even the cop said, as soon as my son was involved in some capacity, now they heard Sammy the Bull's son.
That's it.
They went crazy.
Yeah.
Put more detectives on it, put everything on it,
course.
bugged my phones, bugged my
You're a
office,
promotion.
did everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman, I forgot her name. She ran for office. She was the prosecutor. She was the attorney general. And she was going to run for the governor.
Right.
And you hear her pounding her chest. I stopped the Mafia in Arizona.
Oh, my
I took Sammy the Bull off the streets and this and that fucking fat lesbian bitch. I mean,
Cut that out.
Listen, they wrote. Listen,
no,
when
leave
they-
leave it in.
They
Leave it
char-
in.
listen, they charged me with 17 counts on my parole violation. They wrote me up as if I was an active gangster. It was so sad. My lawyer looked at it and goes, "It's like you never cooperated. They're treating you like you're still a gangster." It was hysterical. It was like such. It was
listen.
it was like pages of bullshit. Should I
Listen,
say? You know what I mean? It was just hysterical.
Well, if
Once
they
they-
ever subpoenaed me to one of your hearings, I
Yeah.
would have to admit and say, yes, he is a fucking gangster.
No, no,
Listen,
all right, I'm
once
sorry.
you hook up with the mob, that's it. Once they put
What's that
were always-
OC's on?
Listen, when I was a
Sammy,
kid,
no, they were always worried with me because my prosecutor says, "We know you're a live wire. We know you don't need the mob to be tough." They says, "Just don't go out there being bad." I says, "No, I don't look for trouble, but I don't run from it. You're not gonna come and abuse me." That's all the way I was saying, So people think they're gonna come up to me and say things to me. You're sadly mistaken, So other than that, I don't bother you. I don't look for it. You know what I mean? But they were always nervous with me because I was a live wire, and they said to put this kid back out, we got to make sure he's not gonna be chaotic. You know what I mean? So that's why they were always
don't
so
you
strict
take
with me.
medication?
I don't want to look like this. Look. I don't want to look like this. Now you're living dead. I'm
Take a little
good. I'm not. I'm not doing
Take a little
it.
Prozac.
So,
My poor uncle, his grandfather used to go crazy.
oh my God.
My
You know,
poor
I know what it is. I sympathize with him in a way because I go to the VA for treatments sometimes. Some things I got on the street
Right.
doctors, and sometimes I go to the VA. I went to the VA one day, and I'm up in age, and this happened a couple of years ago, and I'm getting a little hard of hearing. So when I get my phone and I was talking with my ex-wife, I put it on speaker, and I talked to her, and I could hear it better. I can't put it near my ear and hear it that good. So I got it on speaker, and I'm talking to her, and I'm waiting in the waiting room.
Right.
And there's a tall, skinny guy, maybe my age, maybe a little younger, whatever. And he says, hey, shut the phone. So I says, okay. I apologize. I said, I'm a little hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, I'm going to hang up because people are watching the television. I didn't realize I'm doing this and the other thing. He says, so I hang up, and he says, yeah, you better do it.
Oh, boy.
And he got up.
Nah.
Now I hear you better do it.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I mean? Like that. So I get up and I says, what do you mean by I better do it? What if I don't? I felt like calling my wife back.
Yeah.
Right.
What if I don't do it? What are you going to do? Oh, you think you're a tough guy because you got all these tattoos? I said, listen, I'll knock your fucking teeth straight down your throat.
Hey.
It happens.
And then the nurse hears it, and I'm in the middle of the fucking VA, and there's a beef. So I know I can get into these stupid things like
All
this.
the time.
All of us.
You know?
Oh, and the funny thing is, you go out nowadays, like I live in Tampa, and these guys are all like, they look for trouble, but then they don't want the trouble. So it's like, for me,
Well, he backed up. He
Yeah.
walked the fuck out.
I'm all smiles till I'm not. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Listen, I'm not going to let nobody put their hands
Yeah.
on me. A couple of months ago, I'll reveal a story that only a few people know. I haven't revealed it on any kind of platform yet. I'm in a situation with this guy, right? And he's screaming at me over something, but I'm staying calm. I'm just telling him, all right, listen, relax, calm down. It's not a big deal. And out of the clear blue sky, this guy shoves me. Listen, I go off my feet through the air like this. I'm flying through the air. Boom! I hit the ground and I see fucking stars. Right? I didn't get knocked out unconscious, but like I'm dazed, right? And he's screaming, and I shake it off, and I get up. Now I'm 70 years old, right? I know I look good, but I'm 70 years old. So I get up.
I was about to say you look good for 80.
Wait, listen, no, you're going to be 80, so not me. So I get up, and I get up, and the guy starts coming towards me, and I hit him. I haven't thrown a left hook, Sammy, I swear to my kids, in 20 years. I hit this guy with a left hook, boom, and I wobbled him, and then I hit him with another one, and he went down. I felt so. I wanted to start going like this, like Muhammad Ali. I wanted to jump up and down. I looked at him. I go, and I just walked away, and I went back inside the building. Nothing came of it because he did attack me, and
Right,
there
of
was
course.
cameras, and
Yeah.
you know. So, but what are you gonna do? What are we supposed to do?
I don't know. You're supposed to. I guess a lot of times, because I got yelled at for even that argument. You're supposed to shut up.
When that shit happened,
You know-
Nicole, I got worried about you. I thought you were going to get violated with that bullshit when he came.
Nicole, yeah. I mean,
Not that I want to mention his fucking
That fat slob. What's he doing?
yeah.
Be nice.
I don't know. I was sitting
It
with
looks
my,
like fucking, it looks like fucking Hills Have Eyes. You
Be
see that
nice.
movie?
yeah.
Fucking mutant.
Yeah.
Be nice.
I mean,
Give him more content to talk.
yeah. Fuck him. We don't even want to talk about him. But, that day, me and my son are sitting outside. We had a business meeting in the office. We're sitting outside smoking a cigar. He was smoking a cigarette. And a cop pulls up on him. Bum rushes us, like, in a way. Hey, Sammy. So I look, and my son says, I think it's that jerk off. I said, really? And then I got up, and I started walking there. I started walking there slow. I don't know if he's got a fucking gun. I don't know what he's going to
His plan
do.
is,
And as soon as we got close, he was still with his phone
oh, he's
filming
doing one
me.
of those things?
Yeah. So my son said, why you keep filming us? He says, because I can. And boom, my son smacked him a fucking shot.
and
The phone went flying. And then he started crying, and he put his foot on the gas, and he
Oh,
was
come on, Lee, you was crying?
he was screaming, I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah. That's
Oh, fuck.
okay. I heard you didn't see the tape. I heard it.
Yeah.
I was dying laughing when I heard.
God only knows what he's going to have to say about this little trio here.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what?
forget it. We're gonna be on the next. We're gonna be on 100 podcasts in a matter of 24 hours. You know,
The
it comes
government
out.
never made you see a psychologist after you cooperate. Because I know after I
Psychiatry, I had to
cooperated.
go to anger management my
Wait,
whole career.
After I cooperated and they sent me to
yeah.
Idaho, they sent me to fucking Idaho. I'm living in Idaho. They made me see a psychologist to make sure I wasn't going to kill none of my neighbors. I had to go see a
They
psychologist.
had me in anger management every single time I had to go. I had to do anger management my whole life coming out of jail. They had to go anger
Whenever you have a violent background, when you're going to come out, you have to see a psychologist. They talk to you.
Yeah.
The last time I was coming out, I was 72, and psychologist was a black woman, and she started talking to me, and so she says, "What are you going to do when you get out?" I got almost 18 years straight in, so I said, "I don't know, really. I'm going to start my life over and stuff like that. Where are you going to live?" I think my family got me a spot in an old age home. So she says, I'm 72. So she says, "Wow, you look like you're in good shape. Why would you go into an old age home?" I said, "Just for that reason." I said, "Because when I go in, I was in much better shape than I am right now."
Right.
I said, all the old women are going to look and say, "Oh, look, that's Sammy the Bull. I wonder if he's still fucking active." And then I'm going to fuck every single one of them.
Every old lady.
So the black woman, she dropped the pen. She said, "I'm going to mark that. Is that okay? I marked that." I said, "Go ahead." She marked it down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of STDs in them.
So there's one story. There's one story I wanted to ask you because I was growing up and my dad used to work for the union. My dad was a union worker, and his best friend was Tommy Spinelli. And I remember him coming home one day and seeing that his friend's father went missing. I later on found out that you were responsible for whatever happened, but I never knew why. A lot of people didn't know, but I grew up with the grandson as a kid. I used to go by the house for Christmas dinners and everything like that when I was younger, but I never knew why he was, taken out. Maybe you could.
Yeah, well, Tommy Spinelli was a made guy.
Right.
I don't know if you know that. He was a made guy.
Okay.
And he was with Jimmy Brown, who was his cousin, who was a captain. Louis Fats was another cousin of his. Right. He was a made guy. And they were in the club and they were talking with John. So John comes over and he says, "Sammy, come here, listen to this." So I walked over and they said that he got subpoenaed to a grand jury.
Right.
And he told Louis Fats, his cousin, "I'm going to tell the truth." So
He had the balls. Let me say that. He had the balls to say that in that era. Though I'm saying so.
he said it to his cousin. So and went to Jimmy Brown.
Okay.
So, what do you mean tell the truth? In other words, you're ratting. If you tell the truth, you're gonna rat. You're gonna. So, they're asking for permission to kill him. So John says to me, "Sammy, get this done." I says, "Listen, Jimmy, Louis, let me talk with John for a minute. Excuse me." And I take him on the side. And I said, "Bro, I think I was the underboss at that point." And I said, "Bro, I'm the underboss. I got to go on the street and kill this guy. He's their cousin.
Right.
They weren't related.
Right.
Give Jimmy give him the okay. Let them do it."
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. Why am I doing it? They're soft, Sam. You know that. It'll never get done.
Right.
And this guy will test us.
So John was mad that he said that he was going to go to grand jury. That's an automatic death sentence right there. As soon as he said
And
that.
when he says tell the truth.
But they have
Now
proof
you
that
can
he
go
said
to a
that.
grand jury. You can get subpoenaed.
My father went to
You can take the fifth. You
How do they
can
know
lie.
he really said that? Like, how do we know the guy didn't just lie and say he
Fuck
said
do
that?
I know?
They were just trying to get him killed, maybe.
No,
No?
your cousins
Right,
are going to get you killed for what reason? So anyway, I get the fucking hit, and I'm going to go on the hit.
Right.
I come back, and I think I was the other boss because I told Big Louie, I says, "I'm on a hit, another fucking hit." And so Louie says, "Sammy, you're the underboss. So you don't have to be on the fucking street with a gun."
Right.
But I got an order, and I got to do this fucking thing. So we start to make a thing. Jimmy's out. He's going to go sit on his fucking fat ass, Mr. Tough Guy. Everybody calls Jimmy a tough guy, sitting on his ass. And Louis Fats and me are going to be on the hit. Louis Fats they got another guy, Philly Dogs. He's a made guy.
I know Philly.
You know Philly? He's a friend. And he's got a son who's got a glass factory. And they're going to call him to come down to the glass factory. And then I'm going to hit him. We're going to hit him. Whatever. So I get Joe Watts. And remember the guy who was with him, made guy who used to baby him around? Fat Dom.
Yeah, sure.
So Fat Dom, I get the two of them, and I tell them, I'm going to whack somebody, get somebody, I'm going to bring him to Staten Island in a van, have a truck there. I'll give him to you, bury him, get rid of him. They get this guy Fogarty, who's with the Westies. I knew him. I did time with him. They made him dig the hole. So I go back and I'm ready to do it. Danny Marino's involved. And they says he won't come. He won't come in. So I said, where is he? I forgot where the fuck, in, not Queens, Canarsie or some fucking where in a club. He hangs out with a bunch of greaseballs and everybody else, made guys and stuff. And he stays there every day? Yeah. He's there tonight? Yeah. Well, then here's what we're going to do. I told Louis Fats, I'm going to come with you. Let me go home. I'm going to get a gun.
Right.
I didn't have the gun yet. I said, let me have a gun. Danny will come here, wait outside. Me and you, Louis, will walk in. As we walk past people, you're going to be in front of me. Shake your cousin's hand. When you get it, hold it. Hold it tight, and I'm going to come over you, and I'll shoot him in the head.
Right.
So he says, there's 20, 30 guys in the club. You're going to shoot him in front of everybody? I thought they were all tough guys. Yeah, but in front of everybody? He's not coming in, and he's there. So
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
that's,
Right.
we have no choice. I don't have a
And
choice.
means necessary, yeah.
I have no choice. So just do what I tell you. And I go home, and I tell Joe Watts, hang in, wait. I might change it around. I don't know. I get a gun, and I go shooting back with Danny Marino.
Right.
We pull up, and it took a while. And Louis Fats is out there, and he's coming over. Sammy, let me talk to you right away. What happened? He says he came in. We killed him. He's in the
All right.
the glass factory.
Yeah.
All right. Joe Watson, the other guy, are waiting. So I said, let's go in. His son wasn't part of this thing. Philly Dog's his son. But throw him in one of the trucks. Bring him over here. I'll shoot over there.
Right.
And I'll make sure they're ready for it. They'll take care of the body and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And so we do it. It's done. Now the next day I go to Big Louie. How'd you make out, Sammy? I tell him the whole story, what happened. I said, let me tell you something. John Gotti was right. If he didn't give me this contract, this guy would have went to this thing and took a stand.
Yeah.
He didn't come in as their excuse. Can't kill him, can't do this, can't do that. But when they heard I was going to shoot him in front of fucking 20 people, he didn't want no part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden he came in. You
Right.
follow what I'm saying?
They probably never
So
even asked
I
him to
told
come in.
Louis,
Yeah,
I
of
said
course.
he
Probably never
he was
even asked
right.
him.
Yeah.
If he didn't give me the fucking thing, it wouldn't have got done. So in a way, I don't want to be in the street
Right.
Yeah.
with a gun at the, up in rank and everything. I'm ahead of that.
Right.
It's for the young guys, for
probably
new
never
guys.
told him
Yes,
Shit.
absolutely.
So yeah, they wouldn't have told him shit. He would have went, read it, and whatever.
Didn't
Yeah.
Jimmy Brown have wasn't he one that didn't have one of the biggest crews for a captain in your family, in the Gambinos? Didn't Jimmy Brown have one of the biggest crews with the most soldiers with him?
No.
Who had the biggest crew? What captain had the biggest crew?
I don't know.
I always thought it was Jimmy Brown.
Tommy Blood. He didn't have such a big crew.
I thought he did. I don't know, man.
No, he didn't have
Yeah,
a big crew.
I know he had a
Listen,
ton of
Jimmy.
money.
He had a ton of money. He ran the garbage. He was the head of the garbage association in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
and he was a piece of shit.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you another story. I was going out with a girl, and she had somebody in her family was killed. I don't want to get into the details, but if somebody in her family was killed, I knew the family well. I tried to stop it, I couldn't.
Right.
And I go to the funeral. I do the whole 9 yards, and we're friends, but we're not together. And one day, Louis Molino calls me up, and he says, Sammy, I got to talk to you, bro. What's the matter? I'm going to mention her name, Louise. Jimmy Brown told Paul that she's either an FBI agent or an informant, and she's working in Tommaso's.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck out of here. What the hell is that? I actually go down and question her. I call her, I question her. did you ever talk to the cops with that murder and this and that? Oh, Sammy, you know that. Yeah. I felt like a complete jerk off. Because I said, you became an FBI agent? She looked at me, she says, what? Like I was fucking, so it's not true.
Yeah.
So now I find out the story that Jimmy Brown tried to make her. She didn't bite.
And he put a wire on her?
Put a wire on her. So I heard that. I go up to Paul's house. I'm fuming. I talk to Todd. I go right up Paul's house. Yeah. And I tell Paul the situation. Are you sure she's not an informant?
Right.
I says, I'm positive. Would you put your life on it? Yes, I would.
Wow, that's cool.
I would. There's no fucking way. This guy here is putting a bad wire on her because she rejected him.
Yeah. That's
He says, I says, Paul, I want to go down and talk to him. All right, you have that right. Go down and talk to him. I said, Paul, I'm not going to be, my words are going to, Sammy, I know how you talk when you get mad. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
I went down. I called him out with the club. Hey, Sammy. I said, come here, let's talk outside. I said, you little pimp, low-life punk bitch. You put a fucking wire on a broad because she won't go with you?
Yeah.
You want to tell a fucking boss of a family that she's an FBI agent or a fucking informant? You can get her killed, you fucking low-life cocksucker.
What did he say?
He dogged it.
Yeah.
He dogged it. This is the second thing he dogged. Yeah. I'll tell you another thing with Sammy. And then later on, I talked to her, and she says, that day you came and asked me if I, was an agent or if my family talked with the cops. And what did you do? Nothing. I just asked you a question. Yeah. It's normal for people to see the cops. I didn't say you said anything, but I said, why are you asking me? She said, the day after you told me that, this guy won't come near me. He won't come near me. But I wouldn't tell her what I said. And then it's none of her business. She's not, in the
Trying to
light.
get her killed. That's
Yeah, you fucking lowlife to say something like that out of fucking ego or something. I mean, you got rejected, whatever. But let me tell you another thing about Jimmy, because I heard a lot of stories about this fucking Jimmy Brown. My guy, Sammy, I was proposed him. Yeah. And some guy in the Colombo family killed him. Mm-hmm. And I went to Tato and to Paul, and we talked. And he put together, I wanted Hunk. I knew who the guy was. I knew he was with the Colombo family. And he put together a meeting, Paul, with Jimmy Brown, Frankie DeChico, Tato, myself, and I believe John Gotti might have been there. I'm not sure. But Paul said, the guy you're asking to kill is proposed by the Colombo family. So I said, I don't really give a fuck. He said, I'm not asking you. He said, I want to ask everybody here. I know what you want to do. Don't answer. Are we willing to go to war over this? Mm-hmm. They're saying that he was abusive, Sammy was, to this guy who came in, and there's a whole story about it. Abusive, he should have broke his fucking face. Mm-hmm. He abused some friend of ours who died's wife in a bar before this. That's where it all came from. Right. So Sammy abused him. So Frankie Chico says, Paul, let me ask you a question. If I abuse somebody, call him a cocksucker, or I call him something, does that give them the right to kill me? No. Sammy did the right fucking thing.
Right.
This kid went home and got a gun and killed him.
Yeah.
And Sammy's asking for Hunk. I'm willing to go to war. Tato, are you willing to go to war? Yes. Boom. Next guy. Jimmy Brown. Paul, whatever you want, I'll do. Frankie the Chico exploded. Not me, Frankie the Chico exploded on him. He didn't ask you that, you fucking brown noser. He asked you if you're willing to go to fucking war. Yes or no? Paul said, "Oh, Frankie, take it easy." And then Paul told him, Frankie's right. I didn't ask you. Don't suck up to me. Are you willing or not? And he looks at everybody. Yeah. It was a dog.
Yeah.
It was a fucking dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, Paul's going to make an appointment with Andrew Marsh, who was running the family, was acting, Junior's cousin, was running the family. Junior was in. Yeah. And he says, I'm sending Frankie to Chico and you, Sammy. Keep your mouth shut. Let Frankie do all the talking. He's an acting boss. Okay. We go on Bath Avenue, Andrew Marsh, Frankie to Chico, and me. And he starts talking, Andrew Marsh. We need to get a pass here. And if not, give us time. He owes me $90,000 for a car.
Always money.
$90,000 for a car.
Could be lying, no.
This, that, and the other thing.
Yeah,
and we got him with some legitimate people
Right.
until we straightened this out. Because there was another beef from the Genovese family about the abuse he did with the girl, the woman. So I couldn't shut up. I said, listen, let me tell you something. Is that what you're worried about? 90,000? I'll tell me, yeah, I want to get, well, I'll give you the 90,000. Give me him. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to chop him in fucking 20 different fucking pieces and throw him all over Brooklyn, everywhere. So everybody knows you kill one of my fucking people, that's exactly what I'm going to do. You can't do that. And we got him, I don't give a fuck who he's with besides that. If you got him with legitimate people, take him away. And I don't give a fuck who he's with. Well, he could be smooth. So I told you I don't give a fuck who he's with. I'm going to kill whoever he's with. He said, Frankie, are you hearing this? Frankie says, I'm not only hearing it, I'm with him. We're going to kill whoever it is. I don't give a fuck if it's a friend of ours. If you allow a friend of ours to walk around with him, he's dead. They left. He left. They killed him and buried him in Staten Island on the beach.
Yeah.
Just not to give me the satisfaction.
Yeah, of course.
And not to cave in.
Yeah.
So they did that.
Yeah.
And that's Jimmy Brown again.
Yeah.
Big tough guy.
Yeah.
Big tough guy. He couldn't even vote. After everybody said yes, he was still kissing ass.
Yeah. You know, people keep asking me about Patsy Conti.
Yeah, I know him well too.
Yeah, I know. And you know who else they keep asking me about on my podcast? Frankie Dapp. Two guys that nobody ever talks about.
Yeah, I know Frankie that well too.
And Patsy Conti had the Key Foods, right? The
Key Foods.
because he gave my aunt a job. He
I
gave
think
my
he
aunt
had.
Mary a job.
I
My
think he
father
had
got a-
either 3 or 4.
Yeah, he had a couple of them.
Yeah, 3 or 4 key
My aunt
foods.
worked for him. My father's sister. My father got his sister a job. People keep asking me about all these guys that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Frankie Dapp, you don't know. You'll be them guys. Before you.
Frankie
Young
Dapp.
bucks.
I like Frankie.
Frankie Dapp
I
was a
always-
good guy.
I used to drink with
He
him.
was a
I
good
liked
guy.
Always
He-
smiling.
Yeah, he was a really good guy. Patsy Conti wasn't a bad guy.
But this, like, people don't talk well about him.
No. They were major drug dealers.
Yeah. Oh, they were? I didn't.
I would've
know
robbed
Frankie
them.
Dapp.
Major.
I
love
didn't know
drug
Patsy
dealers.
Conti was.
Well,
I
his
knew
guys.
Frankie Dapp was.
Well, no.
At one
Patsy
point-
Conti, his guys were major heroin dealers from Italy to his people. And
I
then
never knew that. See,
yeah, I'll give you another story. Well, that's the guy who had Louis DeBono with him. Another guy I murdered.
Yeah.
They asked for my life with that guy, Patsy.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a whole nother story. But he was another guy who was making a ton of fucking money,
Yeah.
all
Patsy
kinds of
Conti,
drugs.
Tons of money.
John, and he would give Christmas time, I would go up with a fucking an envelope that here, Paul. This motherfucker,
Like this,
he
yeah.
not only that, we give him a brand new fucking Mercedes.
Yeah. Why not?
Back then, $60,000 car. Here, Merry Christmas.
That's like Greg
Well, Joe
DePalma.
Messino was getting like a lot. Too.
Yeah,
For his
yeah.
They were getting him 300,000 for.
But anyway, let me
captain.
just finish this. So that's what he was given. John knew it. So after we take over, he says, Sammy, grab Patsy Conti and tell him that's not coming from me, but it's coming from you. Tell him he had an old greaseball with him who's doing the connect from Sicily to here. To keep doing what they were doing under Paul and give the same motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
You want me to give him permission to do heroin? Yes.
Well, there's no more
Well-
rules no more, right?
Well, in John's mind, maybe. So anyway, I grabbed Patsy Conti and that greaseball.
Right.
And they come by the club. And I told them, I said, listen, what you were doing from Sicily to here, we know what you were doing and what you were giving to Paul. Would you stop? Yeah, we stop.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. I'm not telling, I'm questioning you for that reason. If you stop, I'm telling you to continue.
Continue selling
Start
heroin,
up
bringing
again.
money.
Do whatever the fuck
want
you
the
were
money.
doing, right? Do whatever the fuck you
Bring
want.
the Mercedes.
And what you were paying and giving Paul, give it to me.
Yeah.
Then John's not gonna know. That's my problem. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I didn't want to include him, and he didn't want to be included in the conversation.
You were just gonna
I said, I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it.
Right.
If there's a problem, you just say I gave it to Sammy,
Right.
and I'll take care of the problem. Don't worry about it. Yeah, just continue. And he started continuing. So all this fucking bullshit. I didn't do it wrong. That's why I didn't
They
do
all
that.
did.
So let me ask you a
fucking
question.
was
So
Robin
when
Hood
John,
right.
after John got convicted, he had to have money buried. Where's all the money?
Who? Guy
John, yeah.
John Jr. had it. They had tons of money. They're
I
still
think
rich.
I think John Jr.
Yeah.
had tons of money.
The grandson used to get $100 bills for his birthday. They had little faces on them from the 70s. They were $100 bills from old school. I remember when he used to get his birthday present. Yeah, they still have all that money. Don't let them fool you.
They had all that money.
Yeah.
His daughter, his
Yeah,
son,
Vicky probably.
Yeah, all that
Ricky
money. Makes them-
had some. The son had some.
they were all those
I don't
still.
think he gave to Angel.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. I don't know. But
He bought me a car. Some of it.
so they had a ton of money.
Yeah.
What they
What
did
happened
with
to all your fucking money?
the government took it. You know, I had money.
I know
I
you
had
had
money.
money.
When I had left,
That was.
Yeah, but I got-
whenever you
when I-
mentioned
when
your
I got-
name, they said, "Oh, he's got a ton of money."
they didn't let me keep it. They just never asked me questions about it. I
You
never
gotta
said I
turn
had it.
some of it when you like Joe Messina turned in millions.
No, I
They
didn't.
just took a property from him like right before he died 3 years ago.
And the
Took
gold
all of
bars,
his
they
house.
took the gold bars.
We
he
were
had.
supposed to rob
They
the
didn't-
gold
they
bars.
didn't
Listen,
ask-
hold on, hold on. We were supposed to get those. Vinny said there's gold bars in that house.
In the house,
We
yeah,
had the
right,
guy.
in the
listen,
wall.
We had the guy that put the safe in. He was Joe Messino's son-in-law. Son-in-law put the safe in, and we had a guy who was a wise guy, best friends with him. We knew where the gold. There was $7 million in gold bars.
Yeah,
in the
I
house.
know.
We were supposed to go in there and get them, but the feds already took them, so they ended up not making us
Yeah,
go
it was in the wall.
Me,
The
Bobby, and Ronnie
feds,
were going to get it.
I don't care what they did with these guys.
Yeah.
The Fed never asked me about money.
Really? I'm
They didn't
surprised.
ask me. I didn't tell them.
Right.
But I had I didn't have a ton. I had 3-4 million when I left.
Right.
I still had it. Had some real estate and shit like that. When I got busted in Arizona, they took it. Oh, my book money, every fucking penny I had.
Yeah, they managed.
When I went to prison, I didn't have a fucking dime.
Right.
My wife, we lost the houses, cars, everything.
Restaurant, yeah, the restaurant.
Restaurant, everything was gone. Jewelry, they got it all. My wife had to go live with her sister. She couldn't even pay rent.
Yeah, they buried you.
They buried me on that fucking case.
They were mad. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they must have been super fucking mad. I mean,
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, they left.
That's
the guy
they told me.
broke
My
on
lawyer
welfare.
says you got your break. You're supposed to do life. Now you're out here being bad again. They're never gonna have you back. That's it. They're gonna. That's it.
yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, second time I got pinched,
Yeah.
they just stripped everything.
Yeah. But when you cooperated, after you cooperated, you were incarcerated when you started cooperating. When you got out after the 5 years, that's when you started money. They didn't give you no money, the government, when you got out, right?
No, I didn't. I went into program for 8 months.
That's it.
They
You just
took
got
it,
the name
and I
changed?
quit.
Yeah.
I quit. I
split in
walked
a year.
away. No, I wouldn't stay.
I went back to Howard.
And they gave me bullshit money. Even when I was in the program, I was in Colorado. They gave me $3,500 for a car.
Yeah.
I told them, that's what I said. What am I
They
gonna
gave
do
me
with $3,500?
They bought me a car for a Jeep Liberty. They bought me.
Really?
When I went into the program store, they took me out of Michigan. They brought me to the secured location in I guess it was in Washington. I landed at Reagan Airport. They put me in this van in this black tube. They threw me in this van in a black tube, the marshals. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. And they bring me, and then I get into the Sally port. I get out, and I'm in the Sally port, and I walk into the door, and there's rows of doors all the way down this long hallway, right? And we walking down, and they stop at the door. They open up the door, and it was an apartment.
Right.
I walk in a beautiful apartment.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Right? And now I'm hearing other people in the hallways, coming out of the doors. And then they
Families.
they changed my name.
They took families.
I denied it. I just said,
Then I went to Idaho.
I didn't care.
Then
I didn't go. My family didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
want that.
I went by myself.
I told them, what are they gonna do? Shoot a water gun at me?
When I went to Idaho, they bought me a car for $15,000, a Jeep Liberty. They bought me a car. I was having trouble with my bridge.
Right.
I had to get a new bridge. They paid $10,000 to fix my teeth. They bought me new glasses.
Listen, they must have known I had money because they gave me
probably
$3,500.
did.
They
They knew
give
I
me
had no money.
$15,000.
Yeah, they gave me
Fat Dom
$15,000
called me up.
cash.
He told me, he says, Sammy, they gave me $30,000 to fix my teeth.
Yeah.
$30,000
They
they
gave
gave
me
you?
10.
They didn't give me nothing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I told Dom, and that's what it cost, $30,000 to fix your teeth. He said, no. I didn't even fix them, bro. I took the fucking money and never
He's
paid
lucky.
them.
They didn't give me the marshal. My handler came with me to the dentist and paid and waited for me and paid the guy cash.
Yeah.
And he took me to get the car. He wouldn't leave me alone. The guy. He took me all over.
I was talking to Fat Dom on the phone, and when I got out, we were still
What was the name
friends.
they gave you?
Jimmy Moran.
Jimmy Marie.
Fucking Irish name. But anyway, I talking to fucking Fat Dom on the phone, and he's laughing. He says, you know what just happened? They don't know who the fuck I am. He says, and my neighbor comes in and tells me, oh my God, I just watched the program. That guy Sammy the Bull was on there.
Yeah.
So he tells his neighbor, I just hung up with him. So he said the kid was laughing. He says, but really, me and you were on the phone just before he came in.
Yeah.
So I says, he's a funny bastard, Fat Tom.
Yeah.
Then he knew Joe Watts was bad. That's why he cooperated.
Yeah.
They all say that. I've been hearing that forever.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Watts? I know for a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, when I cooperated, the agents came in. I was going to testify against the trial with Jimmy Brown and all of them. And the agent said, Sammy, it's great. You ain't going to be testifying on that case. I says, that's good. Good for me.
Right.
I said, but why? He said, we got Joe Watts.
Oh, shit.
And he's giving us information like fucking crazy. And he's sitting down with other bosses. And he's telling them no more violence. So George Gabriel was one of the lead agents. This guy, Bruce Mao, was in charge. Bruce Mao says, Sammy, is that possible? I said, no. He's not even a made guy. He's not going to tell a made guy, you can't kill somebody, or you can't do it. He can't do that.
No.
And he's not going to sit down with bosses. They're going to sit with him and listen to him what to do.
No.
That's fucking stupid, bro. It's not true.
Yeah.
Sure enough, he got caught in all kinds of lies.
Yeah. And
They kicked shit canned him a little bit. And when I came out to testify against him, he grabbed his lawyer, stopped the trial. Give me a plea.
Yeah, he took a plea. I know.
Took a fucking plea. Wow.
I remember
3
when that
minutes
happened.
before I took the stand.
Yeah.
Oh, he knew he was dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he took a plea. Yeah, right. They made a big thing about that when he took that plea. You never met Joe Watts, did you?
And that's when what's his name? Fat Dom said, Sammy, I felt it. And when he made certain moves, I knew he was fucking
Well,
right.
why did John have him? John, remember, he used to make him sit with the captains. Tony used to go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Used to make him sit with the captains.
It was giving
money.
big money to John, and John.
He put work in that guy. I heard a lot of stories. He said he's a pretty violent guy, Joe Watts.
He was tough.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
kill you in a minute.
Yeah, he's a
Clipped
killer. I
Joe
know that.
Butch's cousin.
He's
I
a
know
killer.
a lot of guys knew him.
Yeah.
Clipped Joe
Murder and
Butch's
fuck.
cousin.
Yeah,
Gus.
absolutely. Mhm.
Gus was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was a fucking.
My old man and Tony were good friends with him. Yeah, Gus. He was harmless, I think.
Do you know why he died?
I have no idea.
he made accusations that Frankie the Chico was bad.
Wow.
Was bad?
Was bad, and it never went nowhere, and it wasn't true.
Yeah, but you can't say
Somebody
that.
just did a
No.
story on that.
So as soon as we took
Somebody just
over,
did a story on
as soon as we
that.
took over, Frankie said he told John he's going first,
Yeah.
and they hit him right in Joe Butch's club.
What did Joe Butch have to say about that?
He was in his club. What could
know.
he say?
Skinny Dom was there, Joe Butch and Joe Watts. I know the whole story.
Yeah, but what could he say? Listen, Frankie was fuming with him.
Yeah.
John
They were
okayed
first
it.
cousins, weren't they?
Yes. Yes. But what is he gonna say?
Yeah. What you think of Joe Butch? I liked him.
Not a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Another guy with a lot of money.
another guy with a ton of money.
I used to like his restaurant on Mulberry. He had a good restaurant.
Yeah, the coffee shop and everything. That was his club with it, where they hit him.
I know.
So, and they took him out the back at night, and this and that.
But he was always sick, Joe Butch.
What do you think of Charles Carneglia?
Charlie Carneglias was a good guy, a tough guy, a real tough guy.
More like a lunatic, I would say.
Johnny.
Charles.
Oh,
not
Charles. Charles was fucking gone.
He was like
I had a
Roy
situation.
DeMeo.
Yeah, he's gone. Listen, when he got made, they were gonna make him. I was there that day at the ceremony. I was sitting with John.
High on crack?
No, listen to this. I tell you, he must have been, because I was sitting there with John, and John says he had come in. He was walking to the side, and John says, "Get up and tell this motherfucker to take. He's got rings on all his fingers. What the fuck is this? A biker fucking ceremony?" So I looked, and I went over. He had rings on even the thumb, every single finger, all 10 fingers.
At his ceremony?
At the ceremony.
Oh, John did his ceremony. John,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and
He was a murdering fuck, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
he was
Listen, he was a killer.
Listen, he had he killed people and
Killed the guy with
ornaments.
commissary money.
Wait, let me finish. I went over to him and I told him, I said, "Bro, take those. You're gonna get made. Take the fucking rings off. Which ones? All of them. Take them all off.
Yeah.
Put them in your pocket or whatever the fuck you got to do." Then later on, we found out that he did murders, and almost like that movie, they keeps things like souvenirs.
He had a chair. I was best friends with his nephew. They used to call he used to torture people in the fucking chair. He was putting them in barrels of acid, collecting bones
the
and shit.
junkyard on Fountain Avenue.
He was sick. He wanted to kill me over his nephew, and it was a whole situation. John Carneglia's son had
He walked in the Lindenwood.
Johnny Carnegie was a good
No,
guy.
He was another killer too.
I didn't know him personally. His son was my.
He was a completely different type of guy than his brother Charles.
Yeah, straight up. But he was straight.
Charles was a straight drug addict, I know, but he was a murdering fuck too. I had a beef with his nephew, Chris, John Carneglia's son. I pistol whipped him with a gun. That was a problem. They had to go and save me because Charles wanted to kill me. They had to go to meet him in Carousel. Remember Carousel?
Yeah, of course.
And Ronnie and them went to go meet him and says, he rolled up on me and I went to hand the gun off. I was just going to fight him, but he's a big bat. He's big, John Kennedy's son. I went to hand the gun off and he grabbed me before I could, and then I smacked him with the gun.
Yeah.
And that was like a big thing, you know what I'm saying? And then Charles wanted to,
Well, they were killers.
massacre me.
He was a killer. I mean, he would have
He
killed
walked
you.
in Lindenwood Diner one night. I heard. I wasn't there. This guy, Billy Victor, was there. A couple of guys were there. He walked in Lindenwood Diner one night and he slew a guy's finger bones on table.
That's what I mean. He did weird shit like that. That's, you see, when you kill somebody for breaking rules or you're into life, that's
a
one
different
thing.
story.
When you go into shit like that, weird kind of bullshit, keeping the guy, like a guy maybe wore an earring, he would take the earring off and keep it.
Yeah, I know. Souvenirs. That's what
Souvenirs.
killers
The
do.
fuck you doing with
He
that?
killed my friend Michael in front of the Blue Fountain Diner. I testified at his truck. He stabbed my friend Michael for no reason. He killed him in front of the diner.
Is he still alive?
Of a commissary money.
Is he still alive?
He
has a beard down to here.
Yeah, in 2012, my friend was actually taking care of him because everybody stopped taking care of him. So my friend Chris Castellano, who I had beef with at first, we became friends, but he was calling Chris's phone. Nobody sent him no money. His
brother wasn't taking.
Nobody.
His
They
nephew?
all screwed him. No one took. No one gives him nothing. No one takes care of him no more.
I'm surprised his brother wasn't taking.
I'm not surprised. When you're a fucking complete weirdo,
Yeah.
people get away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
the
one
guy's
thing,
doing
I like a tough guy. I'm never intimidated by a guy who's killed people or a
Right.
tough
Yeah,
guy.
of course not.
I relate to them.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're a fucking weirdo, that's wacko.
Oh, this dude.
Did you call me a wacko?
No. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe he would have been doing that without the mafia.
Yeah,
That's just something
absolutely.
It
Yeah.
was like he was acting his
Absolutely.
fantasies out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Roy
Listen,
DeMeo, he would
I
have
had
killed people if he
No,
wasn't
I had
a wise
yeah,
guy.
I had no
absolutely.
problem with shooting somebody. I have no problem with all that chopping and hacking and all that. Save that for somebody else. That's somebody special. You gotta have some kind of like
Listen,
just
my old man used to tell me there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything,
Yeah.
even killing somebody. You know what he used to tell me? Because he was a little crazy too, like Sammy. He used to tell me, it only counts when you wake up in the morning, you go do a piece of work and then come home and have dinner with your family. He goes, it don't count if you're drunk, if you're mad.
Right.
It only counts when you wake up in the morning, get dressed, go out, do what you got to do, and then go home to your family. That's when it counts. That's how fucking nuts. I was looking, oh, that was my father's son.
That's a good murder.
That was my father's conversations, father.
No,
son
I've never
conversations.
did. You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you
I'm
could
not into
identify
it.
with
I'm
that,
not.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the life. We're soldiers in the life.
Yeah.
When you take that oath, you're a soldier in the life. I was a soldier in the military. I would kill people in the military.
Right.
You take orders from the government, or you take orders from wherever. CIA people kill, cops kill.
Yeah, of course.
That's not killing. It is killing,
Yeah,
but
but-
it's a different type. When you're doing stuff off the wall
For
now,
enjoyment.
I can remember the only thing I ever did that was really freaky as far as killing is that, I tasted
You taste it.
with a little fava beans.
Fava beans.
Like
guess-
what's his name?
Wow,
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the
Silence of the Lambs.
With a little fava
Thighs
beans.
salty.
You put the blood on your cheeks like this, like the Viking.
And lotions in the skin.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it was a great conversation. We're coming towards the end, and we talked about the old days and so many things. I think this was a great conversation.
It was.
I think
I
it
mean,
was.
I love
but
how
what
he
I
describes
really,
it.
a lot of
I
fun.
really would like
Well, we
to
have three
hear.
generations.
tap
We have
shoes,
your
I wore
generation, my
Jordans,
generation,
Everybody had
and
different
his generation.
clothes.
Right. But what I would really like to hear, and I don't know,
Yeah.
and I don't think you know, you're a little up in age yourself,
Yeah.
is that where do you think, as a young guy, the
Right.
Mafia is and where it's going from this point?
So I was telling somebody this the other day. The Mafia is so dead, and I'm gonna explain why. If you're out there right now, right, and you're a rank, and you got no federal pinches, no state cases, you're there because you were nothing. You were hang around. So the guys that are running the families right now are guys that might have been in your generation, but they were coffee boys. You know what I mean? Never caught a pinch. They were nobodies. Non-violent. Not a real organized crime. So those are the guys running the families right now. The violence is gone. They're scared to kill a cockroach. You know what I'm saying? It's gone. They haven't had a murder since 2013 was the last time a boss ordered a murder was 11 years ago. Okay? Right? We used to order murders every week. You know what I mean? Honestly, it was a murder. Somebody's getting killed.
Yeah, sometimes,
So,
especially when you counted
yes,
everybody, yeah.
Forget it. It's, so the Mafia, the violence is gone. The guys that are really are dead, prison, cooperated, all the ones, it's all gone. What you have left now is privileged gangsters, we call them. Maybe your grandpa was a serious guy. You're a grandson now. You're already rich. You're not hungry. You don't want that money. You have money. So it's completely dried out. What you have now is like a fraternity.
Yeah.
College. It's
You have
just a
white
bunch of
guys.
guys.
So now they're sitting second fiddle to a biker gang,
Yeah. Without a doubt.
black
The
gangs,
Russians, the Albanians,
Russians,
The worst gangs
Mexican
right now,
gangs.
the worst
MS-13.
The worst gangs right now is these Bronx are producing. I don't know what's in the water over there, but the gangs coming out the Bronx right now are so vicious and violent. These kids, that's the
Yeah,
bad
but they have
guys.
no class either. They're not,
Yeah, but
they have no class
Yeah, but
whatsoever.
they're so
At least we
vi-
had some class.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
it's so bad right now. The boroughs right now with the gangs, the Mafia's completely dead out. It's what they're getting locked up for now is like sports betting, loan sharking, maybe a little fraud. The violence is really gone. Guys are getting 36 months, 5 years. So it's just all like restaurants things.
I think there's people out there that are capable of clipping somebody, but who's going to give them the order?
No,
You know,
The ones that are
again,
capable
I'll
of
tell you
clipping
why. I'll tell
are
you
guys
why.
that our age.
I'll tell you what, right. I'm still friends with agents and people and everything.
Right.
Agents tell me that every so many guys is a fucking confidential informant. So how the fuck
over.
are you going to do a piece of work?
You know what they
What
do?
about the cameras?
I'll
There's
bug you out.
cameras all
When
over town.
You know, wise guys, active wise guys come home, and I'm telling you this for sure. They'll tell a wise guy on probation, we'll give you like some of these wise guys can't make $1 no more. It's not all these guys got money. Half of them are broke. They'll tell a wise guy, we'll leave you out on the street. You're not doing no violence. We'll give you $1,000 a week, and you just give us information what's going on in your crew. And they're weighed guys. They're
I know.
active.
My question
They're
is,
on payroll.
but my
They
question
don't
is,
even care
what
no
is
more.
my question is, what is going on? Like, I know the way I made
yeah.
money. When I was in the street, the way I made money, I could never do what I did today.
Right.
Never. Chop shops, credit cards,
Never.
bookmaking.
Never happened.
I could never do it today because of, first of all, there's cameras in the fucking doorbells.
Well, that's why
Everybody else is cooperating.
Right.
How do you do it?
Well, here's the thing. That's why everyone
kidding.
says that the prosecutors looked at me like a science project because I was doing all this stuff on the camera. I was staking jewelry stores, doing wild shit, and that's why I was facing life.
Yeah,
at
that's
30
why
years
you
old.
got. That's
30
why
years
you,
old, I was
that's
facing
why you
forever
got
and a day.
pinched with all the guns in your
Exactly.
car.
Exactly. Because that's over with, and I was. That was
And
it.
then you know what I think it is? Life changes for everybody.
Right.
Legitimate marriages, the whole economy, everything has
Everything,
changed.
right.
So change is inevitable for everything and
Yeah,
everybody.
including the mom.
So I think, including the mom, I don't think it's going to exist at one point. It'll be back to like a gang or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't, especially with this RICO law, it's still alive.
Oh my
Yeah,
You-
and how do you cultivate somebody? Like you were cultivated at a young age. I started working for my father when I was 16.
Right.
What did I start doing? I started working in the blackjack game. Then I worked in the crap game. Then I wrote numbers. Then I had a little sports book. Then I sold swag. I sold on, I was in the minor leagues.
Right.
And I built up. I mean, what do these Italian kids do today?
Nothing.
How do you cultivate
No.
kids to
Nothing.
become?
It's gone. I'm
There's
telling you. I was just
they're
out
all-
there.
So
I
what do
know.
you have? All these kids are on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we weren't allowed that. Well, we're all,
But one thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because, especially if you say Italian kids,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, of course.
Don't do it. I mean, we don't need to do that. We've progressed. There's Italian people in businesses and things all around. Go get a legitimate fucking life. This life isn't for you. It wasn't
yeah.
meant for you.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
coming in at the
Yeah.
wrong fucking time.
Worst
Yeah,
time.
or you want
At
to
the
wind up
worst
like
time.
us. Listen, when I got out of jail, I'm 60 years old. I don't even know how to change a flat fucking tire.
join the club.
I have
Everybody nail it.
I had no skills whatsoever. None. It's scary. It was scary for me. I got lucky because of my life experience. Someone offered me a job and treatment, and I went to school at 60 years old.
All right, let's try. I want to plug in my
All right. So, I mean, I think we're coming to an end of time.
Yes.
I'm starving. Maybe
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
hungry
go
too.
eat. And then I think there's one more bank job the three of us could do.